The boxing world has reacted to the thrilling match between Naoya Inoue and Nery in Tokyo. We'll share some of the best reactions.
Just shows that everyone's human. At any given moment, anyone can beat anyone. And look, it's up to me to get that to like I said, box the perfect fight and to really put it on him. And look, I've seen plenty in there to show that, you know, I can really push this guy and not just push him, beat him.
Well, Sam Goodman, you've just got in the ring there with Naoya Inoue after he beat Nery. What are your feelings right now seeing that and hearing what he just said?
Look, I didn't understand a word he just said. It was all Japanese, but look, I've seen enough in the fight to know I can do what I need to do to win that fight. Look, it's a massive opportunity for me. It's something very exciting, and so I've been saying it for how long. I want world titles. He's got them all. I've got to fight him. So look, I've got to box my best, but I believe if I do it, I can beat this man.
Sam, we have your numbers and everything, top rank? We have your numbers?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Maybe we're looking to do a big fight for him September, October.
Speak to our team and we'll get something sorted. So let's speak to our team and let's get something sorted.
Yeah.
He's got the belts, I want to.
Mauricio, the champ. Viva WBC. Thank you always for the support for Nery. Didn't get it tonight, but he will be WBC champion again.
Before this bout took place, several boxing experts gave their opinion on the match and what they predicted to happen. American boxing trainer and fight commentator Teddy Atlas had this to say on his YouTube podcast. If Nery got stopped by a body shot from Figueroa, you can be damn sure that Inoue is aware of that, and he doesn't need any prodding. He doesn't need any extra, incentive to go to the body. That's what he does. He goes to your body, and he will be going to the body of Nery. And at the end of the day, I think it's an interesting fight because of the bad blood, because Nery's a good fighter. He's a former world champion. He's a good puncher. He's a southpaw. He's all of those things. Atlas goes on to explain how for his last fight, Inoue faced some criticism. Although he did win the match against Marlon Tapales in Japan, it took him 10 rounds to do it. At the end of the day, Inoue in his last fight, some people will say he struggled a little. He stopped a guy in the tent. He didn't struggle, but they say he struggled because he's Inoue. Oh, he struggled a little, Ted. You know, he showed you a little bit of humanness, that he was human, the monster. It took him 10 rounds. Well, first of all, he was in there with a guy who's a solid guy, a really solid fighter, and he did stop him in the 10th round. But if you're looking for some reason to be on the side of Nery, you could also say that the guy that Inoue, stopped in his last fight was a southpaw. That maybe that was part of the problem that Inoue dealt with. Maybe. Nery also is a southpaw and a good puncher. So, interesting. I like Inoue, but interesting fight. Radio sportscaster TJ Reeves considered Inoue to be the favorite to win. Naoya Inoue, the monster, the 4-belt champion at junior featherweight, 122 pounds. He is fighting Luis Nery, a former world champion at featherweight. Nery only has one defeat, a tough Mexican fighter with a lot of knockouts, but he's going all the way to Tokyo to fight arguably one of the 2 or 3 top names, certainly of the non-heavyweights. The monster, Inoue, has to be considered along with Crawford and along with Canelo as one of the top 2 or 3 names in the sport. I know Gervonta Davis fans may argue, blah blah blah, but this guy is the real deal, the monster. He is a massive favorite. Retired Venezuelan professional boxer Jorge Linares also picked Inoue to come out on top with a knockout victory. He also thinks that Inoue fighting in his home country of Japan would favor him in the match. Here's what he had to say on the Empire Boxing Podcast. Inoue, I think Inoue by KO. I know very well Pantera, Nery, this guy, but he have only punch, but he don't have that amazing style what Inoue have. He's super fast, he's strong, super strong, and you know the same thing what we were talking before. He is fighting in his town. When the Japanese is fighting in his town, they are the best, but if he comes to here, he cannot be the best because it's mentality, you know what I mean? Going into this fight, numerous former combatants, journalists, and boxing enthusiasts held the view that in order for Naoya Inoue to truly succeed in the boxing world, he has to fight on American turf. Former 2-time welterweight champion Sean Porter told ProBox's if Inoue's goal is to be a star in boxing, he has to come to the United States. I follow that phrase, to each his own. Everybody's looking for the next star. Everybody's talking about how much money you can make and how much fans you have and things like that. We really don't know what Inoue's goals are. Are his goals to be the star in boxing? If his goal is to be the star in boxing, you gotta come to the United States. It is what it is. You gotta cross those seas. You gotta knock out some Americans to make these other Americans take notice of who you are and what you're doing. While many fighters have made a name for themselves in other countries, it pales in comparison to the glory they can achieve by being victorious under the bright lights of Las Vegas. Leonard Alib, CEO of Mayweather Promotions and a collaborator of Gervonta Davis, agreed with what Porter said. Posting on his X account, he had this to say: Sean, I know exactly where you're coming from. The young man is a rock star in Japan, and he's generating enormous revenue, but outside of the diehards, he's relatively unknown in the US where we actually live. I get it. Inoue did not take kindly to the suggestion, however, and explained why he fights in Japan. Also taking to X, he responded by suggesting that Japan had now become the new home of the lightweight division, translated from Japanese. In response to the comment saying he should come to America and play a match, the home of the lightweight division is now here in Japan. If you want to see the game, come to Japan. If there is something better than what is available in the Japanese market in America, I would be happy to go. That's all worth it here in Japan. Luis Nery, the former 2-weight world champion, spoke with Boxing Scene via a translator before his fight with Inoue in Japan. Inoue is a very good fighter, and this is the biggest fight of my career. 4 titles are on the line, but I've seen his fights, and I think he's overrated. Nery went on to share his game plan for coming out on top. I hope it doesn't go to 12 rounds. I want it to end early. You will see a conditioned, stronger, faster, and intelligent Nery who hits hard. It's important to point out here that Luis Nery was previously banned for life from fighting in Japan. This was due to him missing weight and a doping violation. However, this was overlooked for his match with Inoue. When announcing the match, ESPN boxing insider Mike Coppinger revealed that it wouldn't be an issue. In fact, Luis Nery actually took the fight being at the Tokyo Dome as a positive sign. It is the very same stadium where American professional boxer Mike Tyson lost his undefeated streak. I think it's a sign. If Mike Tyson lost his unbeaten record there, then Naoya Inoue can too. Now, Mike Tyson was actually a monster. He for sure was an assassin, so I'm happy they made the fight at the Tokyo Dome. Inoue says the venue doesn't change a thing. I always talk about things I can't predict, so regardless of the venue, the outcome will always be the same. During the latest Camp Life episode, Luis Nery explains how much this fight meant to him. This is the highest stage that one reaches as a fighter. It's like soccer players who prepare their entire lives for the World Cup. It's the same. This is bigger than being a world champion. It's the 4 belts. It's undisputed. Naoya Inoue was also very hyped going into this match. It's difficult to imagine what it's going to be like at this moment, but I know this is one gigantic event that will be held. Tim Bradley, member of the International Boxing Hall of Fame and current ESPN boxing analyst, explains what really makes Inoue unstoppable in the ring. What is it in my opinion that makes Inoue unstoppable? What stands out to me with his boxing style is that he is able to adapt to any style that is in front of him. He has skill sets that can counterpunch. If he has a forward-coming fighter, he can march forward. He's very smooth, has great tremendous footwork, great balance, excellent jab. He's the total package and what you want to see in a fighter, and his punching power is like no other, and speed. Sports journalist Bernardo Osuna described the Japanese fighter as a complete punishment machine. What surprises me about Naoya Inoue is his level of anticipation. It seems like he knows what you're going to do before you do it, and once you do it, he's got an answer for you. And I think that's really what's so impressive about Naoya Inoue. He's just a complete punishment machine.
Tim Bradley goes on to explain why Luis Nery is the perfect match for Inoue. Nery's stubborn, little bit rebellious, has some skill, good counterpuncher, can come forward, good banger, has a ton of experience traveling. He's been in Japan before, he has experience there, and he's won big over in Japan. So he's dangerous. I think he's dangerous for Inoue as well, and he's a fighter that's determined. He's not scared of anyone. Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.